All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Akakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on how a lot of people with money think that money is going to make them safe during the day of the Lord's wrath, or what the world calls it, a SHTF situation, when the economy collapses, man, which we know that is really the day of the Lord that's prophesied in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, starting from the first verse, really, all the way on down, pretty much, and carrying on into the 16th chapter, right? But a lot of this, what this guy was saying here, right, is that he was in Zimbabwe when it had a massive economic collapse, and he said that he was having to spend he had to spend 2 million Zimbabwe dollars. I think it's the dollar, Zimbabwe dollars, over there in order to get a beer, right? Now, just the fact that he was able to buy that beer still show that even that situation was not that crazy, right? Because in a time where things really go down, man, when things really go down for real, ain't nobody gonna be buying nothing, man. They're gonna be buying it with, can I overcome this person physically? Can I steal it subtly? Can I use subtlety to steal these things? And that's a lot of people that are rich haven't had to ever be in no situation where they've ever been hungry. They've never been in a situation where they're starving. You know, they can eat food whenever they want, man. There's a delivery driver that's always prepared to come and deliver their goods, right? But in the days to come, they ain't gonna be that. And let me just quickly play some of this and show what he says. Let me just go back a bit.
Once our countries actually do collapse, this is a 50 rand, will actually mean diddly do squat. You can actually use it to wipe your ass with it.
Exactly. And that's pretty much all it's good for to a certain degree now. It's not really worth nothing now. It's just the perception in people's minds makes it be considered acceptable. But it's never really been worth nothing, this paper money anyway, right? Because if there was to change the money tomorrow and say that, and now it's actually another person's face on the paper that's worth something, then people would accept that new thing that they say, right? Just like how if there was to say with gold, I mean, if there was to say with gold that now gold's not valuable anymore, people wouldn't throw their gold away. But if there was to say that your paper money's not valuable anymore, people would throw that away. But they wouldn't throw their gold away because gold is valuable anyway, regardless of whether people want to try and use it to trade for items. It's valuable anyway. It's got beneficial uses for the body and everything, which I ain't gonna try and pretend like I know what those are, but you can look it up for yourself. And what this particular video is gonna be about, man, is that there's a lot of people that think because they're rich, man, because they got a job in IT or something like that, that means that there's something special. And a lot of these people think, yeah, my woman's rocking with me, I got riches and that, but their woman's gonna, like, there might be like some guy that, you know, the typical guy, man, that he's not physically fit or nothing like that, which this thing isn't about being physically fit neither, but this world's corner, man. So there's a lot of people that might not be physically fit, but they've got a whole bunch of money. So the woman's gonna be with them because they can give them money. Which this thing's not about women neither, but I'm just making this point because this is something that men think about a lot, right? They'll be with their particular woman, and then they'll think that their woman's rocking with them. But when this situation occurs and that man's money don't mean nothing anymore, that woman's gonna try and run to another guy who she perceives is the person that can receive things, which might be a guy that's got certain power, right? Or he might be a guy that's physically strong, and she's going to be trying to seek those people, right? Because this world isn't going to really know instantly that it's about those people that believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai that are going to escape from these dangers. And really those people have got programmed in them the mark of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, which is his name printed in their foreheads, not the mark of the you know what, not the MOTB. They've got Yahweh's mark, as mentioned in Ezekiel 9:4. That's going to keep them from wanting to take that thing that's going to be an hour of temptation for all the world. They're going to call upon Yahweh in that day. They're going to call upon Yahweh Shai in that day. And he's going to strengthen them in that time, man. Because before these times was rough, they was believing in Yahweh back then. They wasn't just trying to turn to him all of a sudden now that things are bad. Don't the scriptures say, remember the Creator in the days of our youth, when the evil days come not, when the cities aren't troubled, and the lands ain't filled with quietness and all of these things. Like, doesn't the scripture say roughly that in Ecclesiastes 12:1? But this world's been trying to just join unto Yahweh. But he's gonna want to try and think they can try and join unto Yahweh when things go bad. Right? Let me play a bit more and see what he says.
So we've had this discussion many times amongst my family members that do prep as well, and the prepping community that we're part of. And unfortunately, once everything goes down and everything collapses, this will be literally monopoly money. You need to understand that the guys that are controlling this would like to control you as well. And how
exactly. And when it's all said and done, they're going to replace that, what he's got in his hand, and what we have in our hands over here, all this cash and paper that people use over here, right? And think that they're doing something because they've got some credits that are printed on their screen saying that they're rich all of a sudden, right? This financial system in this world is a joke, man. Here it is, somebody might own two bitcoins today, right? And they're like, yeah, man, that's worth 60,000. That's worth 120,000. That is, right? But then a week might go by and now it's worth 30,000. How does that work? Or 2 weeks, 2 more weeks might go by and now it's worth 2 million if it was to inflate enough. But if you've got 2 gold coins, you're gonna have 2 gold coins a year from now or 5 years from now if you don't spend them. This world based on false balances, man, and that's an abomination with the Lord. And like this guy was saying about how the money's not going to be worth nothing, right? It's true. Because imagine like you go to, someone goes to the store, right, and they're hungry and they can't eat food, and they go to the store and the store's trying to tell them about how the milk's going to be costing £1,000 to buy some milk, or £1,000 to buy a loaf of bread, and they're hungry, right? They're hungry to the point of they haven't ate for a long time. And they're saying, if you ain't got the money, you can't eat. Do you think they're going to accept that? You think a human's going to starve to death rather than just open a bag of bread right there in the store and start eating it? That's what some people are going to be doing because they're going to be that hungry. They're just going to open the food up in the store, man, sit on the floor and start eating it. They're going to open up a tin of soup and just start drinking it right there, cold, without no heat or nothing, man. They're going to open up a tin of sweet corn, start chowing down on that, man. They're going to open up bottles of water and start eating it. Start drinking it, I mean. People aren't going to care about the rules that people live by now are going to go out the window, man. And the main people that don't understand this is women, because they're always able to run their mouth to men. You ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. But in that day, the man will just look at them, right? And they're going to know that the spirit's going to be different, man. The men are going, man, I don't even want to say what's going to happen, man. Right? I don't even want to speak too carnally, man. I just want to stay on the money topic, man. People in that time, the money's not going to mean nothing, man. A lot of people that think they're rich right now and they think they're balling, and they might have the fast cars and all of these things. In that day, people are going to be coming to where you are to find you. A lot of the time. A lot of people are going to be looking for people like you, because you've been boasting, flexing, trying to make them feel bad about their lives, right? And they're going to be like, well, now the world's accustomed to what I'm good at, because they might have been good at fighting this whole time, right? So, and they might just be a carnal man, unlike the people that Hebrew Israelites wear the spiritual side. But there's these people in the world that are the carnal men, and they might be like, okay, you're boasting about your money. Well, now your money don't mean nothing. I'm going to come and see you, and I'm going to show you my way of living. I'm going to show you what I'm about now. And now you're going to have to try and deal with things by my standard, which is of the carnal side. That's how these people are going to be thinking, man. And those rich men, in some cases, they will be able to handle it. And in other cases, they won't be able to. But the money's going to be mean nothing in that day. Money's going to go out the window. Money don't mean nothing during the time when people can't, during the time where people don't have to pay for things. Money's only valuable when you have to buy things. But when you don't have to buy things anymore, money don't mean nothing. When you can just steal an item and get away with it, people don't care about money. And what does 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter and the 16th verse say? For there to be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So if a person says, I want to steal, they're going to be able to steal. If a person says, I want to break into somebody's house, I've always wanted to do that, they're going to break into someone's house. If a person says, I know that they sell, I know that they've got this particular thing in this shop, and I've always wanted to have that, they're going to go there and they're going to do it. If a person's got a very nice car, and that person's always wanted to drive that car, but they couldn't afford it, they might show up to your house and be like, well, give me your keys, or this is going to go another way. These are the kind of horrible things that's going to be happening, man. So for all you people, and this goes for every category, every class of person, man. For all you people that think that you're a tough guy, you better wake up. All you Israelites that think that you're tough guys, man, you better wake up. All you Israelites that think that you're rich and you're balling, you better wake up. All you Israelites that think that you're wise beyond measure, you better wake up, because the things that are coming on the earth, your wisdom ain't gonna mean nothing. You ain't gonna be able to E equals MC squared your way out of an empty stomach. You ain't gonna be, your IQ don't mean nothing if there's no food on the shelf. Your IQ ain't gonna mean nothing then. Your intellect ain't gonna mean nothing when you are smarter than somebody else, but they've got all the food, or they've got access to food and you don't have access to food. What's your IQ gonna mean then? Is your intelligence gonna be worth anything then? And then you might say, well, yeah, it will, because I'll be able to go and find some food. Well, somebody else might see you with that food and steal it from you. And Yahweh can cause that to happen just because you thought that you were smarter than everybody else. This day that's coming is not a day that people are prepared to see, man. And every single category, apart from the category of faith, is going to be looking stupid out here, man. Because the category of faith, Yahweh can give us wisdom in a time we need wisdom. Yahweh can give us might in a time we need might. And Yahweh can give us the ability to get food when we need to get food, man. But for everybody else that's been trusting in other things and been glorying in other things, pretty much glorying in themselves and in the world, they're going to be looking stupid in that day. And like this man said in this video, their money ain't going to mean nothing, man. Let me see what else he says.
They actually do this. Now let me explain this to you. Or let's go back to a solution for the problem that we're facing. So once you're going through a disaster or a collapse of a country, this will mean nothing. But this is a vacuum sealed bag of rice.
Exactly, man. Like, there's a lot of people that have got money, and let me say this is what there's a lot of people that have got money, right? And they don't even buy food in their house, right? Their fridge is full of alcohol. And I remember there was this one post-apocalyptic show. I can't remember the name of it, but it was in the UK. And the guy was rich. He had an Audi TT back in 2008 when it was a big-time car. When that car was like the big-time car, man. He had an Audi TT, and he went into his fridge, right? Because everything had gone blackouts or whatever. And all he had in his alcohol was all he had in his fridge was champagne and caviar. Right, he didn't have nothing else. He didn't have no rice in his cupboards. He didn't have no tinned fruit or nothing like that. He didn't have bags of flour. He didn't have bags of rice, like this man said. Money's not gonna be more valuable than food, and that's what a lot of people are gonna stumble at, man, because food is always valuable. Paper cash is only valuable when the government or when that particular city has said that that's acceptable as trade for items, as trade for the food. Right? But he was showing a vacuum sealed bag of rice, and that's way more valuable than that money that he's holding in his hand. Let me carry on. Let me go back.
Or collapse of a country. This will mean nothing. But this is a vacuum sealed bag of rice. Or a can of whatever. Okay? This will actually mean something. And this you can actually...
Exactly. So let's say we get a person. This guy knows, and this guy could be an Israelite, man. I don't know him. I don't know who this is or anything like that. I just decided to look up money during a SHTF situation, and I saw this video, and it was a short video. So I thought I'll click on it, man. But I'm gonna look into some more videos like this today, because that's what my mind's thinking about today, man. Because I get annoyed by these people that think that they're just balling out here, man. It's a very frustrating spirit to be in, man, and it's very proud, especially when you consider that somebody could have bought some cryptocurrencies, right, just based on a gamble, and then now they're a millionaire after 3 months goes by. But are they really? Are they like? Is that real though? Is that real? If that's how it is to become rich, then how valuable is the money? And we already know that the Lord maketh rich and the Lord maketh poor. So some credits on your screen, but you don't have no assets and you don't have no food and you don't have access to making your own food supply, isn't really worth nothing, man. But like you said, in a time where loads of people have got money, so let's say someone's got £1,000,000 stuffed underneath their bed in whatever currency you want to say, right? But somebody else has got 1,000,000 apples stuffed in their house, and they know different ways to preserve that, right? And they've got just apples. Who's really richer in that time? The person that had loads of money, or the person that has loads of food? Because the person that has the money, what do they have the money for? So that they can buy food. And that's why a lot of people are going to end up in snares, man. A lot of people are going to end up looking stupid out here, man, because they thought that they had riches and they thought that they was balling beyond measure. But they don't really understand nothing. They think that money in this society right now, as things stand right now, is valuable because you can get access to some pretty women. You can go to the club, you can buy some expensive bottles of champagne and all of that. But that's because there's laws backing you being able to live that way. But when the day the Lord comes, people are not going to care about those laws anymore. So that barrier of you saying, oh, I've got access to this stuff because I've got the money to buy it, that's going to go away. That's going to be gone, man. It's going to be about, can I physically take this off you and you can't do anything about it? If the answer is yes, and if the answer is I want to do that, that's how people are going to be living. And it's only going to be those people of the elect to the nation of Israel that are not going to be living that way. Anything if there was a situation that's physical in our particular lives of people that are of the hopefully elect in that time, is going to be things based on self-defense, man. It's going to be a self-defense thing. Whereas with all these other people, they're going to be on the offensive. Because these people are already animals and be ransacking up the shop for tissue, man. For tissue. Old ladies fighting each other so that they can get 64 rolls of tissue and not give that other woman one tissue. In a SHTF situation, whichever woman's stronger in that situation would just beat up the other woman and take it. And then because of the selfishness, they take all the tissues, man. Because you know when things go bad, people are going to be on that tissue stealing spirit or that tissue hoarding spirit, man. They're going to be on that. And then they're going to have a whole bunch of tissue just so that Yahweh can mock these people. They're going to have a whole bunch of tissue and no food. They're going to be looking at the tissue, be like, I'll be able to wipe my bum at least. When everybody else is going to have to be. And then they're going to realize after a while that they ain't got no food. And then they might be able to trade for some or whatever in a corner way. But for the other person is going to be fed. So they'll be like, man, I ain't really sweating wiping my bum with some tissue or that bad. That's more of a luxury than a necessity. You know what I mean? So they're going to be in a bad negotiating situation anyway. Or they're going to be weakened so much that the person will be like, man, we don't need to trade with this person. Let's just overcome them with power and take that. And now we'll have the food and the tissue. Now we've got the whole shop floor now. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, man. Let me play a bit more of what this guy is saying, man, because it's a good video. This is
up your arse with. So my suggestion, now I am no financial advisor or financial guru, but for us in the prepping community and personally for myself, in the long run, this is worth something. And when shit hits the fan, this will mean nothing. So my suggestion to you today is that while you do have this, you should be buying this.
And he's right about that. It does make sense to buy some extra food if you have the ability to. When you're rich, and there's a lot of people that are rich and that, and they'll be like buying more properties. They'll be buying cars. They'll be going trips around the world and that. But then when it comes to the actual food, they're not able to. They're not buying that and they're not storing that, or they're not thinking about anything to do with that. because they think that this society is going to continue on, because as far as they can see from the evidence, it does. Because that's the reason why they was able to get rich anyway, because they've trusted heavily in this place, right? I'm going to end the lesson there, man. I'm going to end the lesson there. Don't be trusting in this money. Don't be trusting in your might, and don't be trusting in your riches. And ultimately trust in Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. Because when everything goes bad, all the rules are going to change, man. And you're only going to be able to escape through belief in Yahweh. And as the scriptures say, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. And I'm going to end the lesson there. All praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. By Shem Rakar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.